So I found myself when I was doing I don't know, the part earlier where I gave myself the category name of Brian Holt. I was trying to find where there was an English where there was a German word for something and not an English word for something. So I was like, I can use SQL to find that. You can use SQL to find something that has a German translation in a table but does not have an English translation in the same table. How do you do that? You are actually going to join a table to itself. So you can do what's called a self-join. And I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. So, reasonable question. Let's say you run this multinational movie database, and you want to go and make sure that everything has a translation in it. You could write a query to say, like, give me all of the Italian things that don't have English translations, or vice versa. So I'm going to select C1 category ID, C1 language as DE language, or DE lang. So we're going to do C1.name as DE name, C2 language as English name, or EN lang, and C2 name as EN name. So that's a bunch of things that we're selecting. From category names C1. We're going to do a left join because we're trying to find things that have a language of DE. So we want to include those in the results set, but don't have an English translation. So we want to do a left join. We also could have done like a full outer join, and then we would be able to see on both sides and just check where things are null. But we're not going to do that. We're just looking for things that have German words that do not have English words. So left join, category names again, and we're just referencing the same table. There's no special magic to self joins. We're just calling it something else, and we have two versions of the same table. On C1.category ID equals C2.category ID, and C2.language equals EN, where C2.language is null, and C1.language is German, right? And we'll limit that to, I don't know, 20 or something like that. So what I did is I asked the question, and let's just break it. I recognize this is weird and confusing to look at a table joining to itself. But I joined the category tables to itself, and on the left side I have all German categories, on the right side I have all English categories, and I'm asking, join them together wherever there is both an English name and a German leg, eliminate it from the result set. Leave me with only things that have a German translation and you were not able to find an English translation for. So all of these things here, they exist in the category names table with a German translation, but there's not a second row to represent the English translation of it. So this is easier to read. Just talk about it one more time. I'm treating this, as far as Postgres cares, these are two separate tables. It does not care that it's actually the same table. So that's why we have C1 and C2. The first thing when I do where here, I make sure that everything that is in the result set from this C1, this is just German words in the category names table. So my first result set, my first table, if you will, is just German words. I am left joining the table C2, ignore that it's the same thing. And in this set over here, it's just English words. Just German words, just English words, right? I'm then joining them on the category ID. So it's going to join everything together, and I'm saying eliminate where C2 is null. That means it came in from the left join, right? So that there was a German word and there was no English word for it, which means that there was no translation for it. Little mind bending, but does that make sense? Yeah, Mark.
Could you not do that with a subquery?
You would still have a join. So no, I don't think you could. No matter what, somewhere you're going to have a join. To be really clear about this took me some time of me staring at my computers like, how am I going to do this? So thought it was a fun little adventure in joins. Nothing here is anything that you haven't seen before. It's just weird because it's the same thing.